In the papers this Friday, James Creedon joins me in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning, Hannah. So we'll first of all have a look at The Guardian, which we just got in paper form. Brown digs in as Tories claim they have won the right to govern. So all of these papers, of course, went to press when things were even more unclear than they are now, which is pretty unclear as it stands. And inside in the editorial, they say that a hung parliament was predicted. They seem to have to been correct on that. And inside, they look back over the past 3 years. They say that Cameron had early signs of looking very strong when he took over. Then Gordon Brown, the people seemed prepared to grant him a mandate when he took over from Tony Blair, but he did a lot of dithering. He dithered an awful lot on whether to go to the people early, on whether to sort of offer continuity or change, and because of all that dithering, really, people somehow lost faith. Now, the Independent, they're sitting very much on the fence. They didn't make any efforts to predict. Destination Downing Street is their front page headline with lots of photos. Now, moving on to the Daily Mail, hand me the keys to number 10, the words of David Cameron, optimistically, I suppose, because things are far from certain just yet. And they do point out, of course, that he, as Rob Parsons was saying a little while ago, that a coalition with the Unionists, or I think was it Melissa was saying, could be possible. Now, moving on, we'll have a look at the Daily Telegraph. Cameron on course for victory, say exit polls. But of course, these were the exit polls. We now have more accurate results, which still point to that hung parliament. Now, if we move to the tabloid press, the Daily Star, as we were saying earlier, they always have an opinion on something or other. The Daily Star, thank God it's all over. Now, they might have spoken too soon.
It's still not over.
It's still not over. It's not over by any means. What a load of ballots is their take on things in that little speech bubble down there. As for the Daily Mirror, on a swing and a prayer. So they're hoping, I think, that Gord will stay on with a coalition, I suppose. Now, if we move to the Herald in Scotland, they're talking about battered Brown vowing to cling on. That's also in the Times, where they say, of course, as we've seen all morning, Mandelson and Brown making declarations where they're very much saying that they're going to have talks with the Lib Dems and try to form a coalition government. And Brown said it's not the party with the largest number of seats that has first go, it's the sitting government. So he's very much planning on staying on in number 10 if he can manage it.
It's very interesting. Indeed.
Now, we'll move to the Belfast Telegraph, because the big news in Northern Ireland is that their First Minister, who has been a sitting MP since 1979, has lost his seat in what they call a stunning setback. This, of course, on the back of a big scandal affecting Peter Robinson and his wife Iris, where she, even though she's quite religious, admitted having an affair with a teenager. So there you go. He lost his seat, possibly as a result of that. If we move to The Guardian, this is, I think, the ultimate example of not knowing where the hell this thing is going. And hell is by far the least bad swear word in this particular situation.
Cartoon, isn't it? Don't you think?
It definitely is. It definitely is. So we won, lost, drew, won, lost, drew, won, lost, drew. I was thinking earlier, your bow there on your top kind of represents that as well. You've got a bit of red,
yes,
you've got a bit of yellow, a little bit of blue, so it's all in there. I think you had it predicted long before anyone else. And if we stick with The Guardian, Brown's rivals poised to trigger leadership race. This is, of course, speculation on who would take over from Brown if things go badly for him. And Miliband is in pole position, and one of his aides, he's of course the Foreign Secretary, said, if it's as bad as we think, it is a very simple decision for Gordon Brown tomorrow morning. That was yesterday, so this morning. It looks right now like the proverbial is going to hit the fan. This will be a fight, because there are others who have their hats possibly in the ring as well, if that's the way things go, such as Ed Bowles, the school secretary rather. Now, we'll finish with a look at the Times, going back to the Times, and this is about, it was also on the front page of the Telegraph here, Nigel Farage, United Kingdom Independence Party representative, who fell out of the sky in a very dramatic moment yesterday, the most dramatic moment of the day, perhaps.
Yes.
His plane, which was carrying a banner, "Vote for your country, vote UKIP." The banner that was carrying that sign, whatever, I mean, if you could say that this is metaphoric or what were the signs involved. So it fell out of the sky because it got stuck in the tail fin, and there you go.
It looks so nasty.
It looks like a very nasty fall.
It's amazing he came out so well, but
Indeed.
he did fracture his spine, is that right?
He broke 2 ribs, I think something was chipped off his sternum, and he damaged his sternum and chipped his spine, so certainly you could do without that on polling day. But in any case, he did admit, he said we could have been killed, he and his pilot. So that's, I suppose, we'll finish on that note, and we'll hope that's, a lot of the parties are, I suppose, hoping to avoid a moment, anything similar to that, metaphorically speaking.
I'm quite sure they are. Okay, James.
So yeah, we'll keep an eye on the results as they come in, I suppose.
Thank you very much
Thanks,
indeed. Well, as you say, we will keep an eye on those results. Let's just get a quick recap of them as they stand.